Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Pearls and Peers podcast. I am your host, Nina, otherwise known as Hine on Ravelry, Instagram, Pinterest, kind of sort of Blue Sky. So thank you, new viewers, for checking me out. Thank you, returning viewers, for coming back. I appreciate all of you. It is sometime in October. I don't know. What is the date today? The 26th? Let's see. Can I do a little pull down? 25th. Close enough. Okay, October 25th. And I am coming to you from the very sunny, very cold central Connecticut. And it is the weekend after Rhinebeck. So for those who don't know, every year there is a festival that happens in upstate New York in the town of Rhinebeck called the New York Sheep and Wool Festival. And every year since I have moved to New England, I have attended that festival, with the exception of 2020 when no one did anything, right? Because it was COVID. So this year I attended India Untangled and Cake Palooza, which are festivals that happen the day before New York Sheep and Wool Festival in the town of Saugerties, New York. And then I attended New York Sheep and Wool on Sunday. Saturday I had to drive back because my son had a jiu-jitsu competition, which he won one bracket of and lost the other bracket of due to a student using an illegal move. So he really should have won. But by the time that was all done and he got back home, it was late enough that after I made the drive back to Rhinebeck, it was basically done for the day. I think I got there at 3:30 or 4, and our Airbnb was in Saugerties. So by the time I would have driven to Rhinebeck, I would have had 30 minutes, and I was like, whatever, it's fine. And I didn't lose out on anything that I wanted to get. I just missed meeting people. So, like Lindsay, who's Sock Witchery, I missed her. So she was supposed to be at Cake Palooza helping out in the Fangirl Fibers booth, but when I was there, she was on her lunch break, and then she met with people on the hill on Saturday, but I wasn't there on Saturday because I couldn't be. So anyway, next year for the meetups for people, I did meet one person who watches the podcast. So hello to a person who watches the podcast. She also said hi to me the previous year outside the Thread and Maple booth. So whoever you are, please comment so I know who you are and I can friend you and follow you and all that good stuff. Today I wanted to share what I did purchase. I got obviously a lot more at India Untangled and Cake Palooza because of not being there at Rhinebeck on Saturday, and really a lot of the vendors sell most of their stuff on Saturday, and Sunday is a lot more chill. If you do come, I suggest that you stay for the Sunday because it is nicer. There's not the crazy crowds that you see on Saturday. So usually what I do is Saturday, I do like the ones that have a show exclusive, and then just kind of hang out the rest of the day. And then Sunday, I go back and look at things that I maybe wanted to buy that I was on the fence about. And I get my maple cotton candy, which I did get right here. I got 4 bags of it. I get my Sam's Sweet Shop shirt, which I got a sweatshirt this year, but we went to Sam's Sweet Shop this year rather than buying from the booth because they did not take very many sizes of their t-shirts, and they only took one sweatshirt, which was the same one they sold last year. And I didn't particularly like it because it's cream colored, and we have a lot of iron in our water. So really anything we have that's white, it does not stay white for very long. So I just didn't want to buy a dingy shirt, one that would become dingy very quickly. So according to Jen, who was one of the ladies that I stayed in the Airbnb with. So I stayed with Jen, Chrissy, Paula, Sarah. Andrea was supposed to come, but she had to back out kind of last minute. So it was just 5 of us in the Airbnb, which was fine. Oh, and Dina, I'm sorry, Dina, Jen's sister. So it was 6 of us in the Airbnb, which was a nice amount of people. So Andrea probably would have been in my room with me. So I had a room by myself because I get up really, really early. If you don't know that about me, I get up super duper early and I go to bed super duper early. So I'm in bed by like 8:30 max. But I'm up at 5:30 without an alarm. So, yeah, it was really nice to get to know all of them and hang out with them. It was really awesome to just have other people to share the interests and energy with. Yeah, so it was still a very nice weekend because we had the Airbnb. We basically cooked all of our meals. We did get lunch one of the days at Rhinebeck on Sunday. We got lunch. But it was me, we got cheese empanada. Well, I got a cheese empanada, which was not good. It was not even hot. So it tasted like I was eating string cheese surrounded by like cold dough. It was kind of gross. And Jen got some cauliflower bites with a hot honey peach sauce on them. That was really good. And then, I had apple cider donuts. So I got there when the apple cider donut line was not crazy. So I got a dozen apple cider donuts for us all to share, and I brought some home for the kids as well. So anyway, very successful, fun trip. I wore my Lifesavers cardigan for the Friday shows, and then Sunday I tried to wear my sweater number 12 for My Favorite Things Knitwear, but it was hot. It was really warm. So I love that global warming is ruining Rhinebeck for us. That's awesome. Yeah, so half the time I spent walking around in a tank top and a sweatshirt from Matterroot that Jen picked up for me. And then I picked up a Sam's Sweet Shop sweatshirt for her, so we were even between the two of us. Okay. So let me jump into knitting first for those who maybe aren't interested in the acquisitions portion of the sharing, and then we'll move on. So the main thing I've been knitting on for the last week, because I started this the Thursday before Rhinebeck because I drove up there on Thursday, is a test knit for Samantha Guerin of Samantha Guerin Designs. It is the flannel crush cowl, I think. Let me double check. Yes, the flannel crush cowl. There is a cowl and a shawl coming out in November, I think early November, because the test knit is due, I believe, November 3rd. If it's not November 3rd, I don't know why I have that date stuck in my brain, but that's what I'm aiming for because we have some busy times at work that are coming up. So I'm trying to get it done this weekend, really, because I'm also going to be traveling for work all next week. So if I have to work on it next week, I can do it in my hotel room because I'm probably just going to be working and then going back to the hotel room and chilling. Yeah, so I'm doing mine out of the leftovers from my Lifesavers cardigan. So this is Fox Hill Farms Cormo, and they were not at Rhinebeck this year, and they weren't at Rhinebeck last year, so I'm very concerned that they don't exist anymore as a farm, and that makes me really sad. And then the other color I'm doing is a Spin Cycle Yarns that I bought at my first India Untangled, because they were at that India Untangled. And I think it's Robin's Egg is this colorway. So it goes from like this deeper blue to a lighter blue to sort of a mix of blue and tan and then back. So I think how this cowl is gonna work is you knit it all flat and then you're gonna seam it along this edge to join. So you're kind of working your way down to the point, and then I'm now working the final chart, which will bring me back up to the other side, and I'm slowly making the other end where I will seam this end too. So it'll kind of be like that. Obviously it's not blocked because it looks real small, but I'm trusting the process, and if it's too small for me, Joshua can wear it because he's a tiny dude. But I really hope it does fit me because it's pretty and I love it. I love the colors. This is my Sam's Sweet Shop sweatshirt, so I don't have to stand up again, but it's really soft and nice. Yeah, so it has 4 charts and I am on the 4th chart. It's pretty rhythmic. I've messed up just a few times and it's really been because I'm not paying attention, but it's all slip stitches, so very easy, nice project if you wanted to practice having floats before doing color work, for example, like stranded color work. I think this would be a great first project for a practice color work that isn't actually color work. So like the back, you can't even tell what it would be, but yeah, it's very fun. So that's the flannel crush cowl. And I'm definitely going to have enough to finish it, which is good because I can't get any more of this yarn. But I'm glad I was able to find another project to use the rest of it. I was going to make some hand warmers, but I think this is great as well. And that's the yarn in the ball. I have one other skein of Spin Cycle I bought at the same time. I originally was going to use them for, there's an Andrea Mowry hat that's brioche, 2-color brioche, and I was going to do that hat, and I just never cast on for it. But that's fine. I'm going to make it at some point, and it's just not going to be in Spin Cycle. Or maybe it'll be that Spin Cycle and a different yarn. Maybe I could find another brown that's kind of close and make a semi-matching hat, because my other skein is darker. Anyway, flannel crush cowl. All right, and then when I came back for the one day for the jiu-jitsu competition, I forgot to bring my knitting projects back with me. So I had nothing that I was currently working on, so I cast on another sock. So this is what I cast on, and that's what I got done the day while I was waiting for driving back up to Rhinebeck. So this is the Cozy Knitter, and this colorway is called Pot of Gold. And I really wanted this yarn after my friend Jessica sent me some leftovers from her socks, and I knit a square into my Cozy Memories blanket, and I was like, this is so cute. I really, really want some socks in this yarn. And so I asked her what it was, and she told me it was Cozy Knitter Pot of Gold. And Cozy Knitter had a bunch of I didn't get it during like St. Patrick's Day, but I think she had a bunch of just like restock colors that she did, and she put this one up. So it has a gold mini for the heels and toes, but yeah, I really love how it's knitting up. So that is my second whip. And then the main thing I was knitting on while I was up at Rhinebeck is a pair of socks out of Fandoms and Fibers yarn, which this was their last show. They were there vending at India Untangled, and you'll see most of the yarn that I bought at India Untangled was from Fandoms and Fibers, because she's not going to dye yarn anymore. She's allergic to her acid dyes, so she can't dye anymore. So she just did enough for DFW and India Untangled. And then we'll probably put up whatever's left into the shop, and that'll be it. So these are my Taylor Swift's Eras socks. So this is the first sock, and then I did contrasting heel and toe in Patton's Croy. I think it's charcoal is the colorway, but it's black. So the first sock is done. And I cast on the second sock and knit some on it. This is a stitch marker that my friend Jen gave to me. It's a little balloon with confetti in it. Cute. So yeah, these socks are the next ones I want to finish. Kind of my thought for the next little bit here is I want to knit through some more of my self-draping stock yarn, because I'm getting a lot of joy out of knitting these socks, and my son wears the same size sock as me, so we both are sharing socks, and I do not have enough. Yeah, so I can always use more socks. So I want to always have socks going on the needles and get more of my self-striping yarn knit up. So I think I'm going to do, I don't know, I was kind of thinking about the Dachshund Daddy Knits Dye Works. I don't know. I got it last year at Rhinebeck. I'm looking at it over there, and it is, I think, called Beetlejuice. It's black, and then it has white with like neon speckles. It's really cute, and I think it would be fun to work on this time of year. And then I can keep using that skein of black yarn for the contrast for heels, toes, cuffs. So anyway, that, my second whip. Nope, don't want to lose that. That needs to go in that bag. Boop. I'm going to work on those once I finish podcasting. Then my third whip is the mystery shawl for Telly Bean Knits. It is called Halloween Party Shawl. I did not keep up at all. I've had a lot going on. We've had health things we've been dealing with for Mags, and yeah, that's just taking a lot of my attention. So I did not get very far on this. It's also twisted up with needles in this bag. Need to clean off my table. And I'm going out of town tomorrow, so I have to prioritize some organization, which is part of why I wanted to podcast, so I could put away my new yarn and clean this room, because I want this room to be clean when I come back, and so I have to put it in the order that I want it to be in. So the first clue was something called Bobbing for Apples or something like that, and had a dip stitch. There are a lot of dip stitches this year, and I kind of hate them. I hate dip stitches. So anyway, I kept screwing up on it. And I know there was a lot of stress going on at the time when I cast it on, so I'm certain that had something to do with it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to do it as stripes. So I did just do it as stripes. So this first one is supposed to have dip stitches, but it doesn't. And who cares? It's going to be crumpled up at the top of my neck anyway. So this is hedgehog fibers. It's leftovers from some project. I don't even remember which one. It's not teacup. It's Monarch, maybe? And then this other mini is from my Chai Latte mini skeins from Chromatic Yarns. I don't remember which one it came in. It was a recent one though. And then this is supposed to be like the hair on the from Hocus Pocus, the Bette Midler's hair. So anyway, it's called Wigs. It was annoying. It looks nice, but it was a very annoying stitch to work. And then we get to this section, which is supposed to be pumpkins, but you can't freaking see it at all. I think because this gauge is so loose, which this is the gauge in the pattern, but it's so loose that it is not resolving into a pumpkin at all. I may as well just knit it plain. But I think that's why I kind of stalled out on this clue, is because I was like, looks like I'm doing nothing. It just looks like knits and pearls, like a weird collection of knits and pearls. This is supposed to be the pumpkin stem. The purple is supposed to be the pumpkin stem. And then you can vaguely see that there is like knit stitches versus it's on a background of purl stitches, but I just feels like a lot of screwing around for not any results. So anyway, these are Marie Cutie. This one is Night's Migration, the purple. The pink is Perfectly Pink from Hey Sister Yarn Co. And then this is from last year's Moons collection of Plies and Hellhounds, and it is Flower Moon, I think. So anyway, my only other color I have to add into this shawl is black. Which I'm probably going to use the black Felici yarn that I have, which I think is Midnight is the colorway, but it's black. So whatever. Doesn't really need a name. Oh my god. Anyway, I had so many extra needles. I think because I was hoping I would be ready to separate for sleeves on this. And I don't think I'm far from that, but I need to check. So anyway, this one was a bit of a tale of woe, and then it's now going okay. So I originally had cast on for a DRK everyday sweater. However, I knit a smaller size thinking I was going to have positive ease, and I think because I'm also not knitting it in a sport weight, this is a fingering weight. Now this is Marie Cutie from Plies and Hellhounds, and that's usually a very plump fingering weight, and it's kind of bordering on sport. So I've been able to get away with knitting sport weight patterns with it before, but I'm guessing that Andrea Mowry must have used a more plump sport when she knit her sweater. So I think I should have sized up one. So anyway, I got it down to below the sleeve separation. Then I knit a few inches down, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna just see what happens if I like put the body on hold and knit a bit of the sleeve to see how that's going. So I knit that to pattern. It was like so tight on my arm. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna rip back and I'm gonna not do the decreases as quickly on the sleeve. And it was still really tight, and it was like bulging up right here. Yeah, so I think I just picked the wrong size. It wasn't right. It wasn't working. So I ripped it out. So I recast on for, what is this called? It's a Jessie Made Designs pattern. It's a Cozy Classic Light. I was like, I've knit one before. So I've knit a Cozy Classic Light in short sleeve form as a stripe pattern. And so I wanted to do a solid one. So this is the colorway So Scarlet from Plies and Hellhounds. I am alternating skeins, but I just wanted this to be a very plain pullover because I want the yarn to be the feature. It's darker than, it was kind of blowing out the camera. That's a little bit better of a representation. Yeah, so I think I'm done with the sleeve increases, and I think now I'm just doing like additional, you know, you do somewhere you keep increasing for the chest and the back. And I know the size to use for this pattern because I did my other one and it fits me really nicely. So at least I do know that this sizing is going to be the only difference is I'm going to make long sleeves rather than just short sleeves. So that was another cast on. Okay. And then the last whip, so much yarn, is my blanket. So this is my scrap witchery blanket, and it is made out of my advent calendar from last year from Chromatic Yarns, which was Muppet Christmas Carol themed. I'm holding it double with Knit Picks Felici, undyed. And I believe I've shown several stripes. I maybe have shown up to here. So I got, 3 more stripes. So I'm fully done with my first like monster cake. I split them into 2 12 stripe cakes. So this is halfway through the blanket, and it doesn't look that wide, but it's going to be really wide once I block it. Yeah, so it is very cozy and warm. It is a fisherman's rib pattern. And my hope is to finish this by the end of the year. Also, I'm using it for the Advents of December's Past make-along that is being hosted by Chromatic Yarns. So I need to do one more entry into that. I need to knit a couple more rows and then do a post, because she has it where you like post in Instagram and then there's a Google form to fill in and like link to your post. So that is that. And that is all the things I have been knitting on. So lots of different types of things, which is good. Yeah, so I think I'm going to switch to, acquisitions. So if you're not here for that, thank you so much for joining me. And if you are, let's get into it, because it was good. It was a good show. I'm just going to go in order of what's kind of sitting here. So on Saturday, because I couldn't go, I asked my friend Jen to check Matterroot, because they sell out of things very quickly. And I was able to get a shirt for Josh the second day, my husband. I got him this one that has ferns on it, because they do like silk screen printing. And he wanted it last year, but they were sold out of all the extra larges. But they had some this year, so I got him that. But Jen picked up this for me. And these are like the best hoodies for kind of the spring summer here, because they're just jersey fabric. So they're not very thick, but they're nice to just like get a little bit of the chill off of you. And it has a Queen Anne's lace on the back. And I really like it. So I have one other one like this that has a sheep on it, and I wear it constantly in the summer. So now I'll be able to like wash it and rotate it with another one. So that'll be good. These are all actually Rhinebeck purchases. Okay. Okay. So then at Rhinebeck, I think this was my first actual yarn purchase from Stunning String Studio. And she has a lot of sparkle and all semi-solids or solids. I think she maybe had a few variegated, but that's really not her thing. It's more the solids and semi-solids. So I got these two. They are DK weight, but they are sparkly. And I'm going to use them to make a fungus Among Us hat. It's a colorwork hat. And I've had the pattern for, I think, about a year. And I really want to make it because I love mushrooms. Like, love them. I have my room decorated with mushrooms. It's exciting. I love it. I'm going to wear the heck out of this hat. And I have a kind of crinkly cream colored pom-pom that I think will be really cute on top. So that's the plan for these. I kind of sort of want to wind them up today and maybe cast that on so I could take it with me for my trip, but I need to finish my cowl first. So if I finish my cowl, that's what I'll do. I'll cast this on because I can have like one colorwork project going at a time. Okay. And then maybe I'll share all the Fiber MacGyver together. And then Jen pre-ordered for her, for Andrea, for me, and I think a couple of the people that were sharing the house with us as well got bags. Some of them went and bought them there because they weren't sure about them, and then they wanted them once they saw them in person. So this was the bag for this year from New York Sheep and Wool. So it is a very durable canvas bag, really thick. It's shorter. The one last year was very deep, but I like that it's kind of a different size. So it's a very cute logo. They had a colorful one, or they had this more like tonal one, but this one seemed more autumnal to me, so I liked it better. And it has pockets. Oops. There's a big pocket and a smaller pocket on the outside, and then there's more pockets on the inside, or there's a big pocket. See, there's a big hanging pocket on the inside, and then otherwise it's just a big capacious bag. So very nice. I love it. I can't wait to put stuff in it. I might put my blanket in it so I could take it on my trip with me, because I have it in my Flies and Hellhounds tote right now, but it doesn't have a zipper. So when I'm traveling, I don't want my yarn to come out. So it might be nicer to put it in that one for my road trip. And then last year, Jen got a couple of hat kits from Fiber MacGyver, and I didn't make it over there. She and Andrea both got them. And so this year I was like, oh, I want to go to Fiber MacGyver, but of course didn't go on Saturday. So Jen picked up some kits for me, which was so kind of her for me to choose from. So this one, she said, I saw that and I thought, oh my gosh, this is Nina. And it so is. So she only has the Surrey, because I think she's allergic to mohair. So Fiber MacGyver only stocks a Surrey silk lace. And then this colorway doesn't have a name. But anyway, it's a sport and a Surrey together. So I'll probably make a hat out of that. And then this one was a shawl kit. Oh my God, it's so bright. So 80s, it's very fun. So this was a Born Slippy shawl kit, but I do not think I'm gonna make a shawl out of it. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'll do something. Again, it is a sport, a heavy merino sport, and 2 skeins of Surrey silk. So I might actually use this Surrey silk separately, just because 2 skeins is nice, and it's kind of I'm kind of thinking sweater. So finding something to hold this double with for a sweater, I think would be really nice, like a short sleeved or 3/4 length sleeved sweater. Maybe a love note. Ooh. Because I haven't made a love note yet. And Gabby made a love note, and she was like, oh, it's so easy. You need to make one. I have the pattern. I need to make one. So maybe I could do this held double with something else. I need to look at what the yarn double with it is. Probably fingering weight. Probably. Yeah. And then I think this would just make a cool hat all on its own. Or some mittens. Ooh, some mittens. It would make fun mittens. Okay. So that's that. And then I picked out these 2 to go together. Oh my God, on camera they are that bright. So this one is kind of a red. Let's see if I take it by itself. The camera does not know what to do with it. It is the Foxy colorway. And then this one is called I Like You. But it has those red speckles. So I kind of want to hold those double and make something ridiculous and electric and beautiful. I think that would be so fun. Yeah, so anyway, here's my potato chips from Panera that I never ate. Maybe I'll eat those today. And then if you purchased stuff from Fiber MacGyver, she was giving away these Try It cords and the little camper. She drives around in a camper whose name is Midge. Madge? Madge. I don't remember if it's Midge or Badge, but this is a Madge badge. It's a sticker. Okay, that's everything in that bag. And then, I don't think there's anything in this bag that wasn't a giveaway. So this was this year's tote from India Entangled. So if you get the first time slot, or if you pre-order the bags, you get a free bag with your first time slot, and it has a bunch of freebies in it. But you also can just buy the bag. So I have 3 of them now, and they're really great totes. I use them all the time. So in the freebies, we got a little notebook. I love this size notebook. Very nice. Another tiny notebook from Murky Depths Dye Works, and this one's got stickies and stuff in it. A buttonhole sizer from Tinker's Hollow. I got so many bags of tea because everybody in the Airbnb was like, here, take my tea bag. So I have like 6 bags of tea. I think 5 Earl Grey and 1 chamomile. Lemonwood had this patch. I'm thinking maybe Megs might like to sew this patch on like their jean jacket. It's like a little silk patch. What else? A little sticker. This has a little paper clip at the top. I think this is like a little shawl clippy thing. It's from 29 Bridges Studio. Oh, got little dog hairs in my nose. A That'll Block Right Out sticker. A luggage tag for Explore Knitting Tours. A soak sample. A support yarn recycling button. Some more Try It cords. This is super cute. It's from Cesium Yarn. It's a little single wool wash, but you can wash way more than one set of wool with that. Some bold stitch markers and a darning needle in there. A full skein of yarn from North Bay Fiber. And I forget what this is. It's just wool. So it's probably a blend. It's called Bay Blend DK. Does not say what the blend is, but one presumes natural wool. A tape measure. And this cute little pouch that I think had more stuff in it. But it has a little snap and then a zipper. I'm thinking I'm going to use this for my cosmetics when I travel. And it had another tape measure in it. Sorry, my glasses are falling off. Yeah, it is from yarnjam.com. It's a nice pouch. It's nylon. Yeah, and I'm going to put these Try It cords inside here. I don't particularly love the Try It cords. However, I do like using them to replace waste yarn because I feel bad wasting waste yarn. I'm weird like that. This was last year's tote, and I really loved the design last year. And you can see it's way deeper of a bag. It's nice to have the different ones. It is heavy because I've got so much sock soap in it. So much. Okay, we will do yarn and then we'll do all the little things. Okay, so I got this from Sinful Yarn. You're probably not going to be able to see the sparkle, but it's multicolored sparkles. Multicolored sparkles on a black tweed. This is like the Roller Princess sweater quantity of my dreams. And I will be a beautiful sparkle princess in it. That's it. I haven't decided if it's going to be a cardigan or a pullover. I kind of am feeling pullover with like some sort of lacy yoke situation happening, but TBD. It's going to happen. Maybe it's going to be my Rhinebeck sweater for next year. I don't know. But I love it so much. Okay. And then this one, I was walking by this booth. It's Robin's Promise Yarn Co. And they had what they called Robin's eggs. And they were these huge skeins that were, I think, 2,400 yards. Yeah, I think that's right. 2,400 yards. And this colorway they had in it. And it was their show color. And seriously, they kept trying to get me to buy the blend with cashmere, and I was like, I don't want the one with cashmere. That does not match with my lifestyle. And they're like, oh, but it's so soft. And I'm like, I don't want the one with cashmere. I just want the merino one. So anyway, and I also said I don't want this big of a ball because this is 2 sweaters for me. 2,400 yards is 2 sweaters for me. I don't want 2 sweaters quantities of the same amount. So they did have it in smaller skeins. And so I found 3 that were highly speckled because they're like, oh, well, the bigger ones are going to have more speckles. And I'm like, yeah, I get it, but I'm not going to buy double the amount of yarn I need. Anyway, the colorway is called Fall Leaves in the Storm. So it is on a light gray, and it's got these really beautiful autumnal speckles all over it. It's going to be so pretty. And this is a 75-25 superwash merino nylon. I did not want the 80-10-10 or whatever. Yeah. Or whatever, 80-20. I didn't want the cashmere. This one will be fine. And I bet it'll soften up really nicely and be beautiful. So that is that sweater quantity. And then Fangirl Fibers, this kind of goes with one of my other purchases. So I got from them the doodle deck called the Spellbound Doodle Card Deck. And they had a sample that they knit up last year when this doodle deck came out. And I loved it so much. And they had it on display at the show. And this was the last of the kits that they used to make it. So it's all like pinks and purples and golds and white with black. And it has a whole bunch of really cute designs like crystal balls and bats and ghosts and potions. And it is so cute. It's so cute. So I want to make one just like that because it was adorable and I really wanted it when they knit it up and showed it for the first time. So anyway, this is Fangirl Fibers, the Spellbound mini skein set. And it is Superwash Merino DK. So definitely going to make that cowl. Love it. And I can't go without getting something from Gabby. This was a colorway I didn't have of hers. That's rare. I think I have almost every color she's made. But anyway, this one is an oldie but a goodie. No, it isn't Quiescence, which is also one I don't have. Okay, so it's called A Damning and a Curse. And it's on Marie Cutie. I thought it would make great like pine tree socks for Christmas. Do you see it? Do you see it? I see it. So anyway, A Damning and a Curse for some fun pine tree Christmassy socks. And that was from Flies and Hellhounds. And then wool and vinyl, I got Break My Stride. There were some neons this time, which is very not me, but I think because everything was so chaotic and life has been pretty stressful, things have been very hard and dark in the US, and also just a struggle in what we've been dealing with like the health stuff. So I just think I needed some pops of happy. So for some reason the neons were calling to me and I wasn't going to argue. So I'm thinking I'm going to use this to make what is that called? It's a Hokey Locatelli pattern. I think it's called Radiate. So it has like little kind of like rays coming down from the top. And I think it is brioche on the yoke, but it could be color work. I don't know, but I want to make it in like a light gray or a dark gray with this for the contrasting color. And then the rest I will use to make socks. So isn't it fun? It's so fun. I love it. So anyway, wool and vinyl had a lot of really, really happy colors. There was one I almost got to, which I think was Yellow Submarine. It was like yellow with blacks and all different neon speckles. It kind of was like Fool's Gold from Hedgehog Fibers, but slightly more bright yellow versus that's more of a golden yellow. But anyway, I went with this one because it's different than anything else I have in my stash. All right, and now we're down to all the Fandoms and Fibers. So, as I said, this is her last show, and she dyes Pride colorways, and I have been slowly gathering them over the years that I've been going to India Untangled. Here and there, I've been buying a couple of Pride colors. So I got 2 more, and I think this basically gets all the ones that I wanted. I wasn't a huge fan of the, what is it, pansexual Pride flag. I just don't like the colors of it. It's weird. I think they're like gold and pink and blue, but it's weird blue. It's just not a nice color combination. So anyway, I got the gender fluid Pride. They only had this one on sport, so these are gonna have to be a little bit thicker socks. And then I got the male Pride flag. And I think she calls this colorway Men Loving, or MLM, or Men Loving Men, which is like my favorite Pride flag in terms of the colors. I love the mints and the blues and the greens and everything. It's a really pretty one. So anyway, those were the 2 Pride colors I got. And then I also got the 4th wing color, which is called Threshing. This was the very last skein they had. I don't even know if it's sock or sport. It's the Targi blend one, which is awesome. And then this one is called Fish Girl, but it's Ponyo. It's Ponyo. And I loves me some Studio Ghibli. So that's the Ponyo color. And then this one is Immigrant Not Prisoner. And it's a really pretty sparkle. And a message that we need right now for the US. All right, so that's all my yarn. And then Tuft Woolens. I got 4 hand bombs. One of these is going to Jessica, so I got 2 of the apple cider donut, or cider donut. I didn't forget about you, Jessica. I got 1 black tea and bergamot, because apparently Earl Grey was the theme of the show. And then this was her new scent called Toasted Pistachio and Caramel. It is really nice. Highly recommend. Okay, and then I got all of my soap for the year. Oh, this bag smells so good. So I got honeycomb, cider donut, and I just put my last bars of soap from last year onto the soap dishes, so it was perfect timing. Sage and blackberry, black tea bergamot, more honeycomb, toasted pistachio caramel. She didn't have any vanilla or chai spice. Chai spice? I think it's chai spice. That's my favorite scent from her. And vanilla almond is kind of my second favorite, and she didn't have either of those with her. Pink peppermint. I got 3 of those. Those are really holiday-y smells, and another sage blackberry. So anyway, I got 15 bars of soap. So interesting. I tried to enable others to buy soap, and they were like, and kind of wandered off. But then later, smelling the soap in Airbnb, they were like, oh man, I should have gone. I'm like, I was trying to make you go. I'm going to pause and take a sip of coffee. All right. So that's everything that's in that bag. I have 2 protein bars that I need to not have in there so they don't melt. And a random holiday concert program. And a pen. Okay. Last but not least, all the little things. So I already showed you my doodle deck. I got the cake special doodle card. And Jamie signed them for me. I got one for my friend Andrea and one for me. She was so kind to sign both of them. I got some coffee washi tape. This is the right side up. Some barista roll coffee tape from Gabby's booth, Plies and Hellhounds. So it's so cute. I got a set of stickers from Phantoms and Fibers. They're just mimics. Figured I'd give one to Mags. I got this bracelet for them for their birthday. So it's like a charm bracelet. They're all Progress Keepers, but yeah. And there's a Converse high top because they have Converse high tops, which I think is really funny because the 90s are popular again. And then for me, I got this one, which I think is kind of a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy one, because these look very much like planets to me. And there's a dinosaur and a black thing. But see, don't they look like worlds or planets or galaxies? I don't know. It just reminded me of sort of star kind of things. So anyway, that's the set I got. And the little bracelet. And because I bought yarn, they also let me pick out these little stitch markers. They feel like Shrinky Dinks, that kind of stuff. If any of you did Shrinky Dinks as a kid, I definitely did. I had the entire cast of the Muppet Show Shrinky Dink set. And then the box became like the set for the Muppet Show. I played with them a lot. So anyway, there's a mimic with a yarn and a yarn D20. So those were freebies. And then I bought this stitch marker set from Tristan. It's Dragon Horde yarn. It's the Ugly Christmas Sweater set. It's so cute. I really love her stitch markers. So anyway, Jen got a couple of them. I think Dinosaur Christmas and one other one. So I need to pop that in the mail for Andrea, the card. And yeah, that was all of the stuff I got at Rhinebeck Weekend. It was so much fun. It was so much fun. I'm really glad I went. I kind of pondered not going. You know, just financially, I wasn't sure we could handle it, but I didn't get a ton of stuff. I tried to keep things measured, and this is my big kind of thing for the year. And also, it was just nice to be away for a long weekend and have time to just hang out with people and be and not have demands. I mean, stuff was still happening and everything, but it was nice. So thank you, ladies, for a very, very fun time. And I cannot wait to do it next year. We're already looking at booking our Airbnb and different choices of where we might be able to stay. So that will be really fun. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot else to share. Yeah, like I said, I'm going to be taking a trip now next week, again to upstate New York for work. And then, yeah, I'll have an intense couple of weeks after that at work. And then I'm going to have to start trying to burn through my PTO because I have taken only the days for Rhinebeck. Those are the only PTO days I've taken other than one since I started there. I get 20 days of vacation or PTO. I get 15 days of PTO and 5 days of like 6/PTO. It's the ones you can do just kind of unasked, and then the other 15 you got to actually schedule. And yeah, I have only used 4, and it's almost November, so trying to fit another 11 days in before the end of the year is going to be tough. I'm taking the week of Thanksgiving, but we have Thursday, Friday off, so that's only 3 days. I'm taking the week of Christmas, but we get Christmas Eve, Christmas Day off, which I'm not complaining. That's very nice. But again, that's then only 3 days, so that's 6 days. And then I'm trying to take the 2 days around Meg's birthday, so that's 8 days. And that still leaves me with 3 days that I don't know where I'm going to fit them in at all. So we're just going to have to see what happens. But, yeah, in the U.S., for those who don't know, a lot of states are use it or lose it. So I don't get paid out if I don't use my days off. I just don't get them. I don't get to carry them over or anything. So yeah, I don't want to lose any of them because that's part of what's considered my compensation. So I want to take all my days off. So I'm going to have to figure something out. But anyway, now I'm going to put all of this yarn away. Pet Hubble, who's right here. That's not yarn. That's Hubble. This right here is Hubble. So yeah, I'm going to get stuff done. I've got to do all my laundry today and get this room cleaned up before I have to leave tomorrow so that everything feels like it's in a good-ish position to leave Josh alone. Oh my God. The bear. I forgot to tell you about the bear. Oh my God. Yeah. So, right before Rhinebeck, I think it was the Monday or Tuesday of the week before. Yes. I went outside to let the chickens out because we have like a coop with a little lever that you lift up, twist, put back down, and that opens their front door so they can get out and go do things. So I let them out in the morning. Josh puts them away at night usually. So I had Hubble with me and I was going to let them out, and he started immediately taking off towards the forest, like dragging me, going towards the forest, like nose to the ground, full on sniffing and getting crazy. And I was like, what is going on? So I'm yanking him back and I'm yanking him back. I'm like, we have to go let the chickens out, dude. I don't know what you're smelling, but you need to stop. And so eventually I get him going towards the coop, and he's still continuing to like freak out and smell and stuff. And I get over to the coop and I see that the back of it is off on the ground. And I'm thinking, oh my God, did Josh check for eggs and he didn't like latch it, and so it just fell off? And are the chickens going to be in there? So I get over to it and the bar is still flipped up because like the back of it, there's a little lever to turn sideways and you can pull it down and you can look into both the nesting area and the like egg laying box area. And so I see the latch is still latched and there's a giant hole in the back of it. and like there's feathers all over the place. And there's one chicken huddled up in the back, like shaking and freaking out. And so I'm like, oh my God, something got into the chicken coop. So I called Josh and I was like, you need to come outside right now. Something got into the chickens. And so he comes out and it's still dark. So we're trying to figure out what to do. So I was like, all right, why don't you get the dog cage that we used to like crate Hubble, and it's what we used to use for our smaller dogs because we would crate them during the day while we were gone. So he goes and gets that out of his shop. We set it up in the garage. I moved over the food and water bowls into that, and then she was safe in the garage and warm and dealt with. And so we start like looking in the forest for the chickens. The Hubble's leading us all over the place, smelling for the chickens, and he found one of the chicken bodies like almost right away. He took me over to it. He didn't try to eat it or anything. He was just sniffing it. So I think he was kind of sad because he loves the chickens and he's been around them his whole life. Sorry for the dog barking. That's Ada. She's walking around on patrol. She's been much more patrol-y since this happened. So we're trying to find other chickens and hoping that some of them might have survived because they probably scattered every which way. And we're thinking at this point it was probably a bear because of the size of this claw hole and the fact that it just wrenched this out with a steel bar. It just yanked it off. So we're looking and we can't find any. And Megs comes out to look. And then we're like, all right, well, you need to go to school. So Josh takes Megs to school. He comes back. And I'm looking in the meantime. And then he was like, well, I'm going to take the treat thing. Like, he's got a container that he measures out, like, their sunflower seeds and dried soldier flies and stuff into. And he shakes it as he's going out to the coop and is like, ladies. And they'll all come running to the front, and then he throws the seeds, and they scatter to get them, and then that's how he goes in and fills the food and water bowl, and he doesn't have to fight with them trying to get out of the gate. So he's doing that while I'm inside kind of getting ready for work, and one of the chickens came out of the forest in the front yard, and she was like soaking wet, but fine. She didn't have any injuries or anything. She was okay. So we think she ran the opposite way from all the other chickens, managed to hide in the forest, and there was a bunch of feathers and stuff up in kind of a low tree, so I think she kind of flapped up into this low tree and then roosted there till it was light outside. But she came right up to Josh. He picked her up, so we put her in the dog crate, and we basically haven't found any other chickens. We found a leg of maybe another chicken, or maybe the chicken that was missing a leg, which was the only body we found. But we found no other chicken bodies, just a bunch of feathers scattered everywhere. So we think either they got eaten or lost in the forest and eaten later. So we reported it to the Connecticut DEP, which is the Department of Environmental Protection. And then they called Josh back later and said there had been several poultry attacks in our area because like our neighbors one over from us have chickens, and then our neighbors behind us kind of diagonally, because straight behind us is forest, so diagonally, and then one up from that diagonal also have chickens. So basically everybody got hit by this bear. So yeah, we kept the chickens inside, and we were like, well, now what are we going to do? So Josh just happened to look on the website where we order our chickens from, and they had a hatch that day of speckled Sussex chicks. And so we were like, well, we could just go ahead and order some, and like, we have all winter to figure out what to do because they'll have to be inside and they'll overwinter, and then they'll be laying by springtime. This is a safer time to get them to ship because it's not cold. So we went ahead and ordered them, and like the maximum it would let me order is 7. So 8 of our 10 chickens were eaten. 1 from each generation survived. And so I ordered 7. Well, they sent us 9. And so they were supposed to come on Rhinebeck weekend. They were supposed to come on the Saturday. And we were like, oh no, what are we going to do? That's Joshua's jiu-jitsu competition. I'm going to be out of town, blah, blah, blah. We're like, whatever, we're going to figure it out. They'll just have to sit at the post office for a little bit. But then they ended up coming on Thursday, which was before I left. So they came Thursday morning. And they sent us 9, and they're all healthy and happy and doing great. So they are in the garage right now. And then we've been still bringing the ladies in every night because we haven't done, basically the DEP suggested we put up an electric fence. And they gave us the right voltage to use and stuff so that a bear would be deterred. So Josh ordered all the stuff for that, and it's kind of coming, I think, today and maybe tomorrow. And then he'll put that in, and then they'll be able to go out. But we also brought the coop inside of the walk-in. We have a 9x9 walk-in enclosure that's all covered and everything caged in. So we put the coop inside, which for the chickens, it doesn't matter. That doesn't impede their space at all because it's up off the ground, so they can walk underneath of it. So it didn't change anything as far as their footprint for interacting with the space. But for us, it makes it a little bit more closed in. So ultimately, we do want to extend now the walk-in because we want to have more space in there, and we eventually wanted to have a second coop. But yeah, we don't feel safe putting them out without having some sort of extra deterrent because a bear could absolutely still rip through the cage. It's held together by these like plastic clips, which is fine for most predators, but for a bear, like, come on, it's gonna just... So yeah, we've got that coming, and we'll basically only turn it on at night, and we'll turn it off in the morning when we go to let them out, so it won't be any danger to the kids or the dogs. Yeah, and the bear did come back the next night, and it spread our compost everywhere, so it was eating out of our compost can, and I heard it in the middle of the night, and I thought Hubble was throwing up because it sounded like the sound they make before they throw up. And then I got up to check on him, and he wasn't doing anything. He was asleep. So then it happened again, and I woke Josh up, and he went over to the window, and Hubble went over to the window and started barking, and the bear ran off into the forest, and it smelled so bad. And the dogs have eaten the compost a couple times. Like, Josh tried to get it all picked up, but they've both eaten it. They both puked from eating it. It's been a whole thing, like a whole thing. So anyway, that was our encounter with a Connecticut black bear. There also was holes in the compost like cover. We have like a box we put over top of it just to keep it from drying out so it can continue to decompose. And there were matching handprint claws in that. So if we had any doubt, it left its mark. I can insert a picture so you can see it. So anyway, it's been a lot of fun and adventure here in the house, and I'm ready for just things to chill out a little bit, just a little bit. And we did trunk or treat last night. That was the last trunk or treat because Joshua will be in middle school next year, so it's the elementary school that does the trunk or treat. Yeah, and next week I will be back, hopefully, for trick-or-treating. So we'll do that. And then, yeah, it's November. So, yep. I think that's all I have to share for this week. Thank you all for joining me. I hope that you all are staying safe, staying healthy, staying as sane as we all can, given the circumstances. Interacting with the healthcare system in the U.S. is El Succo, and that's all I have to say about that. So until next time, I hope you all get to do things that you love, and I will talk to you next time.